Can Shaquille O'Neal really be mocked just because of the commercial for Disneyland? Or what does Disneyland even have to do with the NBA legend? Well, we're about to find out. Since coming into the NBA in the early 90s, there might not be a more marketable player than Shaquille O'Neal, right? And we might think that we know everything about him, but actually, there are some things that are still left unknown. Welcome to Everything Sports. Number 10. Sickened by the smell. Shaq was undoubtedly the toast of the NBA. Among his many accolades, he was named Rookie of the Year for the 92-93 season, and he nabbed a starting spot in the All-Star game for his 4 seasons. But though the young legendary player was the new face of the game and the life of the party, he just couldn't stomach alcohol. Quote, "Can't even tolerate the smell of table wine," his teammate Dennis Scott said. He's gotta have a good, solid reason for it, right? Years later, Shaquille O'Neal said in an interview, quote, "My father caught me sipping a beer with my cousins when I was like 13. He made me drink a 12-pack right then. Not only did I get drunk, I hated beer and I never had the urge to drink again." Number 9. He's a U.S. Deputy Marshal. While Shaq is predominantly known for his illustrious NBA career, O'Neal has always shown an interest in pursuing a degree as an officer of the law. In 2005, O'Neal was named an honorary U.S. Deputy Marshal after he attended the Los Angeles County's Reserve Academy, so that way he could work as a reserve officer with the Los Angeles Police Department. After his 2005 trade with the Miami Heat, the 4-time NBA champion once helped the authorities by trailing a suspect who was accused of assaulting a homosexual couple. O'Neal was at South Beach at 3 a.m. when he saw the man yell homophobic slurs at a couple before throwing a bottle and hitting them. O'Neal followed the man, who fled in his car, flagged down an officer who eventually arrested the man. After this incident, O'Neal became an honorary Miami Beach police officer with a $1 annual salary. Quote, "For this incident, I don't want to be credited as an individual who does police work," O'Neal said in his statement. "I want to be credited as a Miami Beach police officer." Number 8. Estranged from his birth father. Shaquille O'Neal didn't quite grow up without a father. Philip Harrison, a soldier, met O'Neal's mother and became the future Hall of Famer's stepfather, and is even credited in wire photos as Shaq's father. O'Neal's birth father, Joseph Tony, was actually a drug addict who later got clean and met his son in 2016. O'Neal told Tony, quote, "I don't hate you," and the two embraced. O'Neal's story was well known during his playing career. Born in Newark, New Jersey, he was raised by his mother and stepfather Philip Harrison after Tony left the family following O'Neal's birth. Harrison, who was a sergeant in the U.S. Army, brought up O'Neal at a military base all over the world, including Germany and Texas. In his NBA career, he recorded a rap album that included the track "My Biological Didn't Bother," and several years later, he told reports that he had no plans to meet his real father, saying that it would be disrespectful of Harrison. Time can heal all wounds, however. Harrison passed away in 2013, and O'Neal eventually concluded it was time to talk to Tony. Quote, "I don't hate you," O'Neal is quoted as telling him. "I don't judge. I don't have the right to judge. And, being a father, I know it's hard." Number 7. You can call him Dr. Shaq. Even though his NBA life was standing at the highest level since the beginning of his career, he wanted his degree and wouldn't stop with his bachelor's. 5 years after receiving his degree and fresh off his tumultuous inning with the Lakers, O'Neal received another diploma. He got his master's degree in business thanks to the University of Phoenix's online opportunities. Shaq received a degree in business administration, which should shock no one who's followed his career. Recently retired from the NBA, O'Neal finished his educational goal and received his doctorate in business, along with 1,100 other students. It put O'Neal in an exclusive club of pro athletes with doctorates. Although not technically a PhD, he did receive his EDD in Doctor of Education. Number 6. Criticized for making a Disneyland commercial. O'Neal was likely over the moon in the spring of 2000 when he won the Most Valuable Player award and his first NBA championship with the LA Lakers. He was named the MVP for the NBA Finals, and as part of the celebrations, O'Neal filmed one of those well-known "I'm going to Disneyland" spots that have been made famous by the National Football League. The problem, though, was that there was a Screen Actors Guild strike on him at the time, and O'Neal had, in filming the ad, crossed the picket line. The player, who had made several acting appearances over the years, was fined for his crime. Before we continue, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. as well as hitting that post notification bell so you don't miss any more content from us. Number 5. He paid for the funeral. Quote, "I'd like to send my condolences to the Mikan family. I heard they were having some problems. So if you contact the Heat office, I would like to pay for the funeral," Shaq had stated when he decided to handle funeral expenses for George Mikan. Mikan's family contacted the Heat's front office after O'Neal made the offer while being interviewed by a TNT reporter, saying after the game he heard Mikan's family was struggling to pay the bills. O'Neal and Mikan had met several times, and O'Neal described Mikan as a big influence on him. Quote, "If the Mikan family was watching, please contact the Heat office because I'd like to pay for his funeral. I know who he was. I know what he did. Without George Mikan, there is no me," he told TNT. Shaq was always the one to acknowledge the greatness of the late George Mikan. This small gesture was just another way of Shaq showing appreciation for the, quote, "model for all big men that followed him and the immeasurable impact that he had on the game of basketball." Number 4. He blamed his real-life divorce on Kobe. Alright, we all learned about it in a 2008 freestyle rap, didn't he? And while defending himself against a 2004 rape charge, Kobe Bryant alleged that Shaq had paid up to $1 million to various women to keep them quiet about his own affairs. A few years later, when Shaq and his wife of nearly 5 years separated in 2007, he was singing a different tune. Quoth Big Shaqtus in verse, quote, "I'm a horse, Kobe ratted me out. That's why I'm getting divorced." Shaq and Shawnee, who had 4 kids together during their decade-long relationship, officially ended things in November 2009. And though there was no word on 7-figure payouts, Shawnee alluded to the breakup of her marriage during an episode of VH1's Basketball Wives, which she created and is the executive producer on. Quote, "Our Blackberries got switched," she said at a time she went to an event at their kid's school. "And I was like, damn, my phone is going off a lot. Just girl after girl after girl like, baby, last night what you did." Number 3. Hack-a-Shaq. The Hack-a-Shaq is a tactic where a team continuously fouls the worst free throw shooter on an opposing team. This way, the player could probably miss a lot of free throws, and the team that made the foul can get the ball back faster. Shaquille O'Neal was definitely one of the worst free throw shooters in the NBA, as he had a career average of only 52.7%. Furthermore, he once managed to miss 11 out of 11 free throws in a game, which is a record. Because of the Hack-a-Shaq tactic, O'Neal was the 3rd-ranked player all-time in free throws, and he had a shot 11,252 free throws in 1,207 games. But though Shaquille O'Neal was an excellent player in this tactic, he wasn't the original victim of the Hack-a-Shaq. Wilt Chamberlain was a dominant player back in the league for years, great at closing games, but was a terrible free throw shooter. Therefore, everyone would try to foul him, and Chamberlain would try to do everything to avoid going to the line. This often led to enjoyable situations on the court, where Chamberlain would try to avoid the defenders as long as possible. The Hack-a-Shaq was first used as an actual tactic in 1997 by Don Nielsen, who was the coach of the Dallas Mavericks at the time. He told one of his players, Bubba Wells, to intentionally foul Dennis Rodman whether he had the ball or not, to send him to the free throw line. For that game, this new tactic didn't work out, as Rodman made 9 out of 12 free throws, which, in retrospect, Rodman's normal free throw percentage was below 40%, so you can't fault Don for trying, right? Number 2. Platinum Certified Artist. O'Neal was notorious for enjoying his fame and his success, and that even included embarrassing opportunities outside of the world of basketball. Shaq had jumped into the rap game back in 1993, and while he was mocked by some fans and those who did work in the late-night television sector, he found more success than some would have ever imagined. His debut album, entitled Shaq Diesel, went platinum, selling over 1 million copies. It may be difficult to imagine 2 decades after the fact, but O'Neal was a legitimate rap star for a while as it pertained to sales. That's not exactly something most pro athletes can brag about. Lastly, number 1, religion. NBA fans looking for a clear answer on Shaquille O'Neal's religion may be surprised when they hear his response. O'Neal has been liked to Islam, but has also said his views on religion as quote-unquote everybody. Part of that could be O'Neal's desire to get along with everybody, and there may be other elements, but O'Neal isn't limiting himself to just one religious group. So, do you know of any other secrets that Shaq might be hiding that we don't know about? Let us know in the comment section down below. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, guys, we'll see you later.